Previously on the 360 build, we took my daily driven Ferrari of 15 years and totally transformed it. From a very tired and neglected, heavily enjoyed and used prancing horse into a spectacular beauty. With a 9-month restoration which included a full strip down and repaint with extra finishing touches, a complete retrim of the interior, brake system overhaul and even some engine bay work. At the end of those many hours of hard work, the car looked absolutely amazing once again.
And yet, despite all of that hard work, we now have a major problem on the 360. In fact, it's not a major problem, it's a freaking nightmare.
Say again, please. Houston, we have a problem.
I don't know if you can see right now, just one of those imperfections. It's dirty. I'm going to give it a quick clean and then we'll go around it and I'll explain some of the issues, and I need your help in trying to figure out what the heck has caused them. Now, why am I actually going through this and doing the video? Well, I've taken the car to a few shows lately and a lot of people are pointing it out and mentioning it, coming over to me. And before it all comes out on social media, I may as well just address the elephant in the room. So, I don't know if you guys saw this on camera, but let's look at the first major problem with this car. Okay, so the first issue is right here on the stripe. In fact, it's not just here, it's the whole entire stripe. Now, I don't know, I've given you a camera angle there so you can see this, but hopefully it's coming out on camera. It's kind of cut in here, but it gets worse. The stripe has actually shrunk. So here's the stripe, and I don't know if you can really, how much you're going to see on camera, but right here, this is a knife, right? This is how bad it is. We've got a ridge that much, and a thick, deep ridge as well. Can you see that? You can see, look at this. I'm a knife in there. We come up to a massive ridge. So, and the same on this side as well. So what's happened is this vinyl stripe, for some reason, and I have not figured out why, it has shrunk back, and where we put several layers of clear coat to bury the vinyl stripe, it is ripped apart and left a complete straight ridge here and a straight ridge here. Now, it first started down at the front here. I came out about 2 weeks after we got the car back, and I actually thought someone had taken a scalpel and literally sabotaged my car and cut this out and this here. Now, it wasn't as bad as this. It was actually a lot slimmer, and it's got worse over the last couple of months. It's gradually shrinking more and more and more. Now, I thought someone had sabotaged it, and then the closer I looked, I thought there's no way someone could have got to this car to do that. And I naturally thought that where we had followed the Ferrari recommendations for this, you can see it up here, it's even worse up there, it's even thicker, that ridge. We followed the factory recommendations as per the workshop manual, step by step, did exactly what Ferrari said to do, how they applied the stripe at factory on the Stradale, which is a vinyl stripe you buy from Ferrari. That's how they did it on all the cars. So they made 1,300 odd Stradales, and I would hazard a guess that more than half of them have the stripe on it. So they've not had a problem. We followed exactly how it was done, and for it now to shrink like this, I have no idea why it has done it. Now, it started off at the front of the car here. It then went to this bit, and I thought originally that when we laid the stripe on this car, well, the body shop we were in, they didn't want it to use the so when you lay out vinyl stripe, what you normally do is you have a solution and you put a little bit of kind of fairy liquid, a couple of drops of fairy liquid, and what that does is it allows you to manipulate the stripe, because it's very, very difficult, near on impossible, to lay that stripe in one hit dead straight. Yeah, you have to be able to manipulate it, and that's what you do. You use a solution where it allows you to do it, and then you squidge it all out, and that's it. And that's when we've done stripes before at other places, that's how we did it. But on this was the first bit we did. We tried it with no solution, and naturally it didn't go down right, so we had to keep lifting it up, lifting it off. And I thought, because this bit here was the first bit that went, I thought we've got a hole underneath here where the badge bolts through. Somehow we got a little bit where we'd lifted it off and on, we maybe lost some of the adhesive. And that, combined with the fact that we've got potentially a little bit of an air hole underneath there, it had lifted it up, and somehow we'd shrunk it. And it stayed like that for probably about a month. And then I'm thinking, all right, no problem, we'll then do a little bit different, and we'll respray just that panel. We can take the whole bonnet off, the hood off, no problem. We've still got paint left. We'll get a color match. We'll just get another stripe, find another stripe somehow. That's the other issue we've got to deal with. And then we can just rectify that one panel. And then my action plan to rectify the front went out the window when about a month later, I noticed it all happening on the roof here. So it's done exactly the same here. It's all started to peel up here. It's started to peel up here as well now. And well, I'm just so gutted, because whereas the car was so used and abused before, we had just the stripe on top of the paint. We did 9 months of painstaking work to get this car looking amazing. We did all the exterior, we did the interior, the engine bay, the brakes, and now to see it like this, I mean, from a distance it looks fine. It's getting worse though, because that stripe is gradually shrinking. But we took the windows out, we took all these trims out here, we stripped it, we did it all correct. And now, just in my head, to put this right is not easy at all. And it gets even worse. Look at this back here. Now it's about this time of year where it all starts to get a bit miserable and cold. I've got the thick jacket on, heating on in my unit, and I'm a summer person. I don't really enjoy this. So like many at this time of year, I like to book a trip away somewhere warm and sunny, down to Florida to see my good buddy Sam, work on some cars, and pretend to Lexi that it's a business trip. Now there's a couple of things vital for a successful trip. Number one is a cheap flight, and number two, since I'm online all the time, is cheap data. And that's where eSIM.io really has me covered. It's simple to use and easy to install, and works in over 180 different countries, basically everywhere from Albania to Zambia. What I love is they've got various choices from pay-as-you-go through to database plans, and the more gigabytes you purchase, the cheaper the plan becomes. They've got cool things like a regional plan. Let's say you're traveling throughout Europe, well, you can get a plan that covers multiple countries within Europe. The great thing is you install the app once and use it for life. And the cool thing is, once you have the app installed, you then unlock eSIM.io's app campaigns. For example, right now there's a 50% discount on European regional packages, plus 50% off Greece and America packages too. And right now, if you use code Ratarossa5, you get $5 for free. And then if you deposit $10, you get $12 for free. And that is some pretty awesome savings. So make sure when you plan your next trip to get away from this stuff, you get the best data possible with eSIM.io. Simply click on my link in the description below the video, or scan the QR code on screen right now. So if you look from the back, I don't know if you can see this, if you look down the length of the car, where you can see the stripe is shrunk because the red and the green lines down it, if you catch it from an angle, you can actually see that they kind of swerve in and out now. And at the back here, you can see it's started to come apart from the paint. So that's just one problem. But let me explain why it is such a problem. So here's the major dilemma. We followed the workshop manual step by step when we did this, and we've got this reaction. We've got this absolute nightmare. But it is not the only striped 360 that we've done. 4 years ago, we built the world's only Stradale Spider. Not just a Challenge Stradale, but you get the full extent of it with no roof. This is incredible. I think we win!
I think we win. We definitely win that one.
1-0 to the Spider! Where we changed the colour, so we took it from Rosso Corsa to Rosso Scuderia, full respray like this car. We also added a stripe, same stripe, and we, 4 years later, have still not got any issues with that. It's perfect. Ferrari also did exactly the same thing on, let's say, at least half of their 1300 Stradales. There's like 700, 600, I don't know. There's more than a few hundred Stradales with stripes on there from factory, and none of those have got this issue. So what's gone wrong, guys? Anyone has any idea, drop them in the comments below. The major issue though is we've got to rectify this somehow at some stage, and my major worry is if we do the same and put another stripe on it and it does exactly this a second time, then I'll just cry about how we are going to resolve this, which is, I'm open to suggestions. We did think about potentially getting a colour match of the white, because where it's torn away from the clear coat, we've got still that very crisp, perfect line either side there. So filling it in with a colour match white and then just somehow blending the clear coat over the top of it. So potentially a solution. I think it's going to be a terrible one. And then we've got other issues such as this bit here where it's starting to pull up. So now the alternative is it all has to come off. And the major problem with that is if you look at this car, number one, you've got to do the whole of the bonnet. And the chances are at some point, at the moment we're okay, but this half moon here might do it as well. So then you've got to do all of the front quarters. You've got to do the pillars, the roof. It comes all the way down. There is no join line. It is one piece down through the rear quarters. And then you've got the engine lid. So that is more than 2/3 of the car if you're going to do it properly. Then you've got to address the fact that we've got to get the glass out again. We smashed one of the windows doing that last time. The chances of all of that trim coming out a second time and maintaining and keeping all the rubbers intact is very slim. So that is going to be an absolute nightmare. But the other issue here is that the stripe is not the only problem on this car. If I walk around it, it's very difficult to show on a black car. But there are loads of runs in the door here, to the point where my 10-year-old daughter said, "Daddy, what is all of that?" I'm going to try and show you some B-roll of what we've kind of managed to capture. But that's on both doors. We've got bits on the bumper there, we've got bits on the lower bumper, we've got bits on the wing, underneath the badges, underneath the little indicator there, all around here, all along the door here, bits in the quarter. We've got dry spots around here, we've got dry spots down there. We've got these bits here. This is quite annoying. So where we had the pop-ups on the front here, let's see if we can capture this for you live. Look at that. Where it's been filled in, it's all sunk. Now they were my brand new ones, 90 odd quid's worth of pop-ups that were put in there to kind of sort it out. Then we've got bits like here and here where the paint has blown out. It's already cut in here where the stripe has shrunk. We've got loads of just runs there, runs of clear coat. We've got problems on the back bumper. Underneath here, I don't know if you can see that, but up there, it's all blown out. We've got more over here where the paint has blown out. Now, you might think, oh, that's where the door's been opening. The door doesn't even touch it. It's all blown out there. There's lots of things on this car. So, really, I've still got to do the headlights. I've just kind of got, at the moment, so disheartened with what's going on, I haven't touched it. The thing is, guys, I'm not a perfectionist. A lot of this can be put right quite easily. It took 9 months though, yeah, that's the point. It wasn't a rush job. And when my 10-year-old daughter says to me, "Daddy, what is all that down the car?" then if she can see it, everyone else can. So it's embarrassing when I take it to a car show now, whereas before it was so ratty, I didn't care. And the other issue is right now, I can't even afford to pay someone to correct all these issues because, well, right now, all my spare change is going into buying parts for the future project. Now I know in the grand scheme of things, it's just a car. These things happen and, well, it can get put right, but it's so demoralizing. All of that hard work, all of that effort, and it's ended up like this. On the positive side, let's try and remain positive. The interior is still amazing. So happy with that. We've got some finishing off to do there. And the brake system that we have refurbished is phenomenal. It is chalk and cheese from where it was before. It was good before, but now the stopping power of this car, if you told me it was going to be that much better, I would never have believed it. Anyway, there we go. So we got a few more jobs to do on the car. We're going to focus on that at the moment and try and figure out what went wrong and how we're going to rectify the exterior. Oh yeah, and not to forget, there's still one other amazing positive on this car. It sounds like this. You never ever get bored of that noise, ever. Next job on the 360 is in here. It's all to do with the engine bay. Now we did some work already, making it look a bit more presentable with the covers, the coolant tank with the guys at CSP. But the thing that lets it down right now is this exhaust. Now, you can see the little brackets there on the side. What should be on there is a couple of these that sit on there, and I think the only function is they make it look a little bit more pretty. But a common problem with the Stradale is, as you can see on this one, there is no bolt. Now Ferrari looks like they just come up with this idea and in 5 minutes welded a couple of brackets to the exhaust system, put a couple of nuts in. You can see that one is off center, that one is missing, that other one's missing. This is the only good one here. But over time, pretty much all Stradales, at least one of the nuts shears off. So my idea was to make another bracket, take these off, cut these off, take the exhaust off, make another bracket, put another bolt underneath and make it a much better job. But as a temporary fix for the time being, my friend Rory has come up with a brilliant idea. So we're gonna maybe try and riv nut in there and then see if it works. So let's give it a go. So here's what we got. We got the tool and the actual fix in itself. If I show you down here, it's actually really quite a tight fit already. So I'm going to knock that in and then we'll see if we can compress it. The sensible thing here would be to remove the exhaust system, but I'll be honest, I'm being lazy. Let's come in from this angle. That went well. Okay, we're limited on space here. So, okay, let's see if that works. That's pretty good, you know. Right, let's try my bolt. Wow. Nice, that works. Okay, success. We've got one in this side, one in that side. I'm hoping we can reuse this one here, even though it's way offset, because I cannot remove this nut from here that Ferrari have welded in. I want to give these a clean up, and I also want to give the exhaust a clean up. Here's the plan. A bit of metal polish, polisher, and a clean rag. All right, one on, looking good. The only problem is, the other side, I only had 4 of these bolts, and I've just dropped one right down there. And anyone who knows the 360 and the lower under tray knows if you drop anything, you're never going to get it out without removing the whole under tray. So we've got one bolt here, and if I just put one bolt in there, I think it's going to rattle around. So I'll try and get that and fish it out. But look at that, much better. Look, I can see it. Look at this, it's right down there somewhere. Where is it? You can just, there you go, down there. Shiny little bolt. How in the heck am I going to get that? Ah! Where is it? It's down there somewhere. There it is, there it is. Ready? Yay! Yay! Winner! All right, guys, finished up. Look at that, what an improvement. Happy days. All right, so that is done. Next job, actually I probably should have done this before I did the exhaust. It's all to do with this, the airbox, and this bit here. This airbox here is not the original one. It's one that I replaced on the car a while back, and well, it was the wrong color, so I ended up rattle canning it and did a terrible job. So today we're going to fix that with a very quick and easy solution. And this is the solution. I bought another one years ago and just never got around to fitting it. So today we're going to do that, and this is the final piece of the puzzle to make all of that absolutely 100% correct. So in order to do it, the only problem is it's a little bit of a strip down. And straight away we come up with a problem. The lug underneath there has stripped away, so it just spins. Let's try and get something on that. Try those. Yes. One very expensive original carbon airbox. That was the easy bit. Now we've got to remove some covers. So these 2 rear covers, but in order to get to those, we need to take these 2 carbon covers off, and then we should be able to get to the bolts on the side. Ferrari carbon side cover. What we're trying to do is get to that bolt down there, which still can't get to without removing this cover. Now before I started this, I ran up the car, got it up to temperature to burn off some of the oil, the WD-40 and everything that we put on to loosen up the bolts for this. It's boiling, absolutely boiling. So I'm going to have to take the hoodie off.
While we have those engine bay side covers off, it's a great opportunity to run a vital check. On both the 360 and 430, you have 2 fuel tanks, one either side of the engine bay, and in those it contains the fuel pumps, which especially on the early models, well, they have a tendency to crack, which causes potential engine fires, which is not good.
Now mine, as you can see, is really dusty, which in this case is quite handy because you can see there's no fuel sat on top of there. If I put a light on that camera, and then if we come inside here, that's the other place to have a look, and again, no loose fuel. So let's do the same and check the other side over there. Okay, no obvious smell of fuel, and again, dusty, good. That's definitely not leaked there. And then if we can get into that top part, I'll move these bits out of the way. You can get the camera in there and just about see. It's also dry. And there you go, quick and easy one to make sure we're not going to have any kind of engine fire problems. Now, if one of those is bad, it is a Bosch part number. So don't buy it from Ferrari because it will cost hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands now. I think the last time we checked, they were about less than 200 each when you use the Bosch part number. For this, we need the proper tool, a Phillips screwdriver. Now this we're going to keep to one side, otherwise we have to take all of this off, and I don't want to do that unless absolutely necessary. All we need to do is get to this bolt down here. Okay, and typical, look at that, the bolt's not even in it. What a muppet, I should have just tested that. Okay, we're pretty much there, we just got to undo the 4 on the back. Okay, let's see if we can get this out without damaging anything. All good there, get that pipe out the way. There we go. All right, let me show you the extent of my OCD. So this is the one we just took out, and as you can see, it's sprayed silver, and this is the correct finish from factory. And that is the sole reason we're changing it. Also, while the airbox is out, it gives me another opportunity to check something else that is quite vital on the 360 or 430. That's a common problem, and that is this bush down here. Now what that does is connects the top of the gearbox and suspends it from this frame here, and that has a very high tendency of over time wearing, and what you find is your gearbox then kind of sits a little bit low, and off the top of the gearbox and all of these mounts here, you've got the exhaust system, and the cats all suspend off of this. So what happens in the worst case scenario is the cats will literally touch the top here of the rear bumper, which is this bit up here, and it will eventually burn a hole. Ask me how I know. We've done it before on one. So yeah, that's a vital one to check. And mine's all good, I know that because it was replaced 2 years ago. Okay, so all that leaves me to do is put my replacement back in the car, and with a bit of YouTube magic, I can make that happen right now. And there you go, all back together, OCD sorted out, we've got a clean exhaust, we've got the correct airbox in there, and well, at least I can sleep at night for this one little problem. The rest of it, well, that's another story. Well guys, there you go. We have got some progress done on the car, which makes me feel a little bit better. Obviously, this issue up here, well, that is still a nightmare. So if anyone's got any ideas, really what has caused this, the rest of the car, it's just a car. We can polish it out, we can make it look better. Eventually, I think we are gonna have to respray the car. There's no other way around it. I did have one other idea though. As a temporary solution, we could go back to how the car was before, where we had the stripe on top of the paintwork. We could fill in those gaps where it shrunk back, and then just put another stripe over the top, because the paint to that point is still good. So it's a complete cowboy. I'll get my lasso and spurs out. It would make it look a little bit better than that wonky stripe that is gradually shrinking and looking horrendous. The other one is obviously wrap the car and do something stupid like the Techno Violet, I think it is, or something like that we were going to go with before. But currently all of that we've made no decisions on. I'll be reading through all your comments, and like many of the other projects, sometimes it steers off in a completely different direction that I would never have had a clue of to start with. But in the meantime, we have many other things to get on. We've got the 308 to finish off. Ricky's working on the engine. He's just done an engine update on that one. We got the boys doing the bodywork at SG Brothers. We've got Martin at Grey Goose, who is finishing off all the fuel metering units. We've got the 456, we've got another video on that one. BBI behind me, everyone is desperate for updates on that. We've been doing some filming and some bits on that. That's all coming soon, and eventually we've got this thing and a nice future project. So these hands are very full. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. You can check out what I get up to on a daily basis around here on my socials. Until then, stay safe and ciao for now.